Welcome to Alasquatch, the show all about Bigfoot in the great state of Alaska. I'm your host, Beans Baxter. So lace up your boots, zip up your coat, and come with me on an adventure as we explore all things cryptid in the last frontier. Chook, what are you preparing for us tonight there?
We got some deep fried halibut, corn on the cob, some broccoli.
Smells delicious. So we've had quite a change in weather here. The clouds came in. It looks kind of like it might rain. Definitely cooled off. So we're all putting our hoodies and pants back on and waiting to see what happens. Thought we heard some thunder off in the distance earlier. So it might curtail some of our evening shenanigans, but we'll see. Little thunder in the distance there. All right, Chook's cooking us up another good breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Between the sun and the rain yesterday, it rained for about, I don't know, what was it, 45 minutes, something?
Yeah.
It kind of sapped our motivation. We didn't do too much last night, but it was pretty quiet. So Chook and Rob are heading out today. I'm gonna hang out one more night, and I'm gonna leave early in the morning. It's a beautiful day though. Of course, it was a beautiful day yesterday, and then it cooled off and rained for a little bit, but it's an awesome spot. Even though we haven't caught any fish. All right, so Chook is making his signature gourmet camp coffee.
Yep.
Oh, there goes an eagle.
Oh, good.
There's another one. There's two of them.
Wow.
Anyway, he pours the coffee in here in these filters, and it drips down directly into the cup.
Yep.
And we had some yesterday, and it was quite good.
Got some coffee from Vietnam there, some Robusta.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm using a little fin filter here, which is a strange little all metal filter. It just makes a little concentrated cup of coffee. So that's going to be my warm up, and then I'll have a full cup like you guys.
right on. The coffee is brewing. Smells delicious.
Mm.
So Rob, you brought us up here to this area near Willow and Hatcher Pass. Is it Hatcher's Pass or Hatcher Pass?
It's Hatcher's Pass.
Okay, I know. I've been calling it both.
I know. I call it both too, and every once in a while I have to look at the sign.
So, what's some of the stories and Bigfoot activity that you've heard coming out of this area that made you interested in it?
Oh well, we have to go back a long ways. I have history here. Willow is like the first. I don't want to say it, but the first squatchy place I kind of got put on my radar by encounters, by eyewitnesses. I started hearing one, then two, then three, then I met a guy who lived up here, and he had a handful of stories, and that led to other people. He had other friends, other people that lived up here. As you can see on the way up, there's not a lot of people that live up here, and it's pretty rural. I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere. Once you get the blacktop goes away, you're on dirt road. It's pretty much gold mining claims and just cabin property up here. But I've heard stories, the last couple decades of my life, I've heard stories from Willow. So I've always been drawn to it for that reason. And plus it's just beautiful to explore. I usually have my ATV, and you can see some of the ridge lines and mountains around here. Well, you can get up and ride around on those. You can go as high as you want over there. The old trapper's cabin is here. That's always fun to go explore. But there's stories. There's endless stories. This is where the one of my favorite stories is, where the gentleman at the Great Lands, the ATV rental place now it's called, which was at the time it was shut down and just owned by a bank. But I knew the gentleman that was caretaking it, and he had some interesting experiences here, and that kind of his whole story kind of opened up Willow to me, and one by one more people started telling me about their stories up here. So it's interesting. I've heard this is where I had one witness watched one walk across the road, and it got about halfway across the road. It saw his vehicle, and he said, in his words, it just disappeared. And I said, what do you mean it just disappeared? I thought, oh no, did it just vanish? He meant, no, it just took off so fast, it looked like it disappeared. And okay, well, the same gentleman, and it took I want to say it took some Irish whiskey to get him to tell me this. He did not want to tell anybody. He didn't like to talk about it. But he also had two gold mining friends who told him they watched two Bigfoot eating leaves off a tree. And they watched these two for 20 minutes. I don't really know the surrounding story behind it, but that's what I recall. It was a while ago, but one day I'll get in touch with my friend and try to get him to retell me that story. But this is where my friend was parked in his truck watching a movie because they didn't have any electricity up here, and a snowball hit him in the windshield. And there's nobody around. There's nobody around. So what threw the snowball? Is it
Crazy.
possible?
Yeah.
That's the funnest one I've heard up here is. And he got out of his vehicle and looked and looked and looked, and he did not see anything. Nobody was around. It was wintertime. But anyway, fascinating stuff around here. And plus it's beautiful. So score.